How's everybody doing today? How are we feeling about Give a Day? It has been amazing how we've evolved Give a Day over the years, so we couldn't be more excited, and I'm sure we're going to have our biggest and best, right, Councilman? Every year. But thanks, everybody, for coming to our 5th annual Mayor's Give a Day Week of Service. I really want to thank Mazik here. We got any Mazik students in the house? Working hard over there. Principal Burba, thank you so much for hosting us again. I know you guys enjoy giving this. Let's give it up for him. Got a lot of our great students here as well. Thank you guys so much. Louisville Fire is strong in the house here today. Let's hear it for those guys. Yeah, and the police are saying, what about us? We love LMPD too. You know that. So good job to everybody. All right, what are we here for? We're here because 5 years ago we started a conversation in our city about compassion and how do we bring compassion more to life in our city every day. I'd just been elected mayor and decided to focus on compassion as one of our core city's values, one of our guiding values. And we wanted to celebrate and cultivate compassion in our city. And of course, one question was, everybody agrees with compassion, but what do you actually do about it? And then there were other people that said, hey, don't talk about compassion so much. It makes you sound weak. We're in a recession. People want to talk about jobs. They don't want to hear about compassion. I said, well, actually, people want to hear about both. They want to hear about jobs, and they want to hear about compassion. And it's much more difficult to be a person of compassion than it is to be a cynic or a critic from the couch. So we're going to talk about human values like compassion and kindness and love. And so we went off on that journey, and nobody could have imagined how the citizens of Louisville responded to that human value, that call toward compassion, of all of us being connected with each other and reliant on each other. Then it was like it was just kind of waiting to be called out, and the response from the community has been fantastic. So we said, let's bring compassion to life through something called the Give a Day Week of Service. And we started in 2011 as a one-day call to serve others about a month and a half after the inaugural address. And it was in honor of my mom. And she's kind of shy about recognizing that. But she... We doing all right? Okay. Call for compassion. Okay. And the reason why I said it was in honor of my mom, because she raised me, and I'm one of 5, that we said whenever we can help somebody, we help somebody. That's what we do as our family. We don't ask why. We don't ask what's in it for us. We just say, how can we help? And that had a tremendous impact on me and my 3 brothers and 1 sister growing up. So in our first day, we had 800 volunteers, which I thought was pretty good for one day. But then we set our sets higher. The next year, we said, let's have a whole week. We ended up having over 90,000 Louisvillians show up for acts of compassion. And then it's grown every year. Last year, we had over 160,000 volunteers in acts of compassion in our city. And now people talk about it all over the world. There we go. People talk about it all over the world. They come to benchmark our city. We've had 40 other cities come and say, tell us about compassion. Tell us about Give a Day. How are you guys bringing this human value to life? We've been named the International Model City for Compassion 4 years in a row. I mentioned the other cities that are coming to benchmark what we're doing in our own efforts. And by the way, while we've cultivated compassion, obviously we revived our economy at the same time. Over 50,000 new jobs, 1,900 new businesses, billions of dollars in investment. And one of the reasons I'm convinced that it's happening is because people are saying we want to live, we want to grow our businesses in a community that cares for each other and lifts each other up. And ultimately, that's what compassion is all about. So you put all this together, and we're sending a message to the world that not only are we going to compete economically, but we're going to compete with the heart. Because it's important that we all live in cities where we see that interdependence and interconnection on each other. We see some people doing real well. We see other people struggling. We see that there's an unfinished business of the recession. A lot of people have been left out of the economic recovery. The middle class is getting squeezed. That's something that we should all be concerned about. So, what are we going to do this year? We're going to make sure that we set a new world record for compassion. Are we ready for that? Yes. All right. We do that by making sure everybody's involved. We do that by lifting everybody up. We do that by welcoming our new neighbors to town. They might be from Syria. They might be from Iraq. They may practice a different religion, but we accept and love them all as brothers and sisters. That is what's great about our country. And I guess that's not in my remarks, but we can contrast this to what we're hearing from some people that are masquerading as contenders for the President of the United States right now, who are really seeking to divide us by race, by religion. That's not who we are as a country. Who we are is a country where everybody comes together regardless of what you believe, of who you want to marry, of what your skin color is. That's what's made the United States of America great. And that's why Give a Day is so important. Okay. Now, we have a lot of mentoring activities available during Give a Day week. We're seeing great growth in our mentorship programs, but we need to do more. There's nothing more than a young man or a young woman needs than a steady adult at their side to say, come on, we're going to get through this difficult situation together. So we're going to have lots of opportunities like that during Give a Day of people working side by side. And hopefully what we want with Give a Day is for that to be the beginning of a lifetime relationship of caring and mentoring for each other. And we're going to be involved a lot with our senior citizens as well. What we know is people can be lonely if they're not interacting with each other. And a big part of staying healthy is that type of social interaction. So showing compassion and love for our elders is a really important part of Give a Day as well, as will be the environmental activities that we'll have during Give a Day week. We have to respect, obviously, our environment and our earth and leave it in a better place for the kids that will be coming after us. So this year's Give a Day ties into all those needs. Now, let me tell you about one in particular. Right now, there are too many children in our community that don't have a bed to sleep in, something that most of us take for granted. They might be bouncing between shelters. Maybe they sleep on an air mattress, or they're couch surfing amongst relatives. They're doubling up with a parent or a sibling. Maybe they're sleeping on the floor. And look, we all agree that that is not acceptable here in our city of compassion. So as part of Give a Day, 100 of those children will soon be getting a bed to call their own. There you go. They'll be getting a bed, a pillow, a blanket, and some sheets. And they'll get a bedtime book and a teddy bear. How about that? With a handwritten note on that saying that we love you here in the community. And they get pajamas and toothpaste and toothbrush. And of course, like any good dentist would tell you, dental floss. Who does enough flossing here in the crowd today? That's what I thought. Nobody does. But a lot of us take these things for granted, and this is one project here that we're going to be doing. So a lot of volunteers would step up to do this. Ben Langley will not take credit for being our leader on this. Look at him. No, I'm not the leader. Ben's a great leader because he says we're all in this together, but we follow you. And so we thank you for your inspiration and leadership with this project. JCPS, the whole JCPS team is stepping up. AmeriCorps is in the house, and they help us in so many different things in the community. Let's hear it for AmeriCorps. And then we're going to get a lot of other volunteers from the community to come together and help make a bed as well. This is one of more of the tangible projects during Give a Day. When you put that work in, you've got a bed, you've got a kid sleeping in it that didn't before, and all those other things. It's like, I did something today. It's a great, great project. And it shows you how the whole community comes together as well. I want to thank all the companies that are donating to the Build-A-Bed, especially K&I Lumber. They're right back here. Thank you guys so much. They donated the wood, but then they cut all the wood to size as well, because this is a kind of fine-tuned production facility when these things come together. And then Bowles Mattress Company is also in the house. They donated all the mattresses. Thank you. Awesome. So, and everybody else involved in Build-A-Bed, if you could kind of wave to us back here. We got a lot of folks. Come on, babe. Yeah, give us a wave here. Good job. This is kind of illustrative of what it takes to bring a project together. And when we have over 100,000 people doing stuff like this, there are a lot of moving parts. I want to recognize a lady that's been with us from the beginning of this effort that helps pull all this together, and that is none other than Brenda Frank, who's in the background over here. Thank you, Brenda. I want to acknowledge, too, Lisa Detlinger and our friends at Habitat for Humanity. Thank you, Lisa, where I saw you earlier. Over here, thank you very much. The work they'll be doing during Give a Day Week, they're renovating 7 homes in the Smoketown area. And that's just in the neighborhood around here. And completing the structure of 1 new home to give away. And we're calling that's part of our Love Our Neighborhood initiative. We love our neighborhoods here in the city. Then we have many, many other partners who make Give a Day work each year, but there's none more important than the Metro United Way. When we were starting this thing, of course, we had this concept of let's have this huge volunteer effort, and it sounds great, but how do we hook up the volunteers with projects? And, of course, Metro United Way was saying, we know how to do that, and we would love to participate in this program. So with us today, for the last time before his retirement, at the end of the year, we have Joe Tolan, President and CEO of the Metro United Way. So, Joe, when you announce your retirement this far in advance, you're going to have to endure this now for the rest of the year. So before you come up and say a few words to us, I'd like to give you a proclamation on behalf of the city. So, Joe Tolan. This, as I said, this is Joe's last time as CEO of United Way during Give a Day, but you're not going to be your last Give a Day. Yeah, he's going to be a volunteer. That's right. So this is the City of Louisville honoring Joe Tolan in honor of a true servant leader. As CEO and President of the Metro United Way, Joe has been a committed champion for the Mayor's Give a Day week of service. A grateful community salutes you, Joe, and promises to forever live united.
All right.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to tell you, my youngest daughter, because I'm very grateful for all of these wonderful kinds of things, and so she said, so what is this, kind of like your version of the Kobe Bryant farewell tour? And I said, it's not quite on that level, babe, you know, but thank you very much. United Way is proud to have been a part and continue to be a vital part of this whole effort from day one, as the mayor referenced. And we deeply believe that working together is the only way that we can ensure a vibrant community into the future. And as Mayor Fischer alluded to, and I certainly agree, in these times of such bitter divisiveness, I think acts of passion and this kind of coming together across various and sundry boundaries has never been more important. At Metro United Way, at Metro United Way, one of our core values is think we before me. And I really think that the week of days, it's amazing how we turned it into a week, but the week of days of compassion is a great example of that. My request of each of us, and looking in the mirror, is let's show the world that just how much our community thinks we before me. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Now, every year, students like you guys that are here today set the tone for the Give a Day week of service, and it's really fun when you go to a JCPS event and you got all the energy of the kids, and then you see other people driving by, honking their horns, stopping, wanting to know how they can get involved and all that. So it's really infectious. So we want to showcase our students' outstanding Give a Day week work. So this year we're launching something new. We're calling it Student Videos for Compassion. so students can exercise their budding media and video skills and then share their acts of service with the community. The videos are going to be posted online to inspire other folks and see kind of examples of the projects that are happening. And so just say, come on, join this compassion action movement that we've got going on. So more details are being sent to the schools. And as speaking of schools, Dr. Donna Hargens here, we started our jobs about the same time. And as we started talking about different priorities for the city, we talked about compassion. She's like, yeah, how can we get involved? Then we started talking about service. And she's like, service is a wonderful way that our students can learn as well. So we would not be setting our world records for compassion if it was not for JCPS, because JCPS annually, I guess it was 40,000 the first year. Last year was about 55,000 of the 100,000 JCPS students participate in the Give a Day week of service and learn the value of service learning and just making the world a better place. And Dr. Hargens, you've just been a tremendous leader in that effort. So please welcome Dr. Donna Hargens.
Mayor, Jefferson County Public Schools is always thrilled to partner in the Mayor's annual Give a Day service initiative. And as the Mayor said, we're very proud that our students and employees led the way. We had 100% participation, and our students donated the equivalent of 802 days of service. That's almost 2 years of kindness, service, and citizenship in just one day. We're proud of what our students and staff were able to accomplish and the difference we made in the community. It was a perfect way for us to give back to a community that steps up every day and supports our students. Mayor, I'd like to just highlight a few examples of how our students gave back during the last Give a Day. Ballard High School raised more than $46,000 for pediatric oncology research in a dance marathon. Bick Elementary organized a school-wide collection of items for Kentucky Refugee Ministries. Coral Ridge Elementary held a book drive for children at Wayside and Home of the Innocents. Farnsley Middle participated in a Brightside community cleanup. Jefferson County Traditional Middle School provided tens of thousands of meals. Newburgh Middle School planted an urban garden. Our students at our TAP school for pregnant or parenting mothers collected makeup, nail polish, and cosmetics for victims of domestic violence. As a superintendent, I am proud of our students every day, but I'm proud of not only what they accomplish in the classroom, I am proud about how they represent our school system in the community. At JCPS, we understand the importance and benefit of providing our students, as the Mayor said, the opportunity to learn through service. These values align with the 10 core values in Vision 2020, our new strategic plan. We believe that one of the keys to boosting student achievement is creating a culture and environment where all students are successful. And our students are very excited to participate in creating these videos, Mayor. That's going to be amazing. So on behalf of our over 100,000 students at 53 schools, and in particular a shout out to Chris Burba, principal at Mazik, and these amazing Mazik students. But we want to thank you, Mayor Fischer, for allowing JCPS to be a part of this community initiative. I am confident, and I know they won't disappoint me, that our students and staff will again lead the way in contributing to another successful Give a Day campaign. We don't want to lose the title, Mayor. We're with you.
Thank you, Dr. Hargens. So we have about 100,000 students in JCPS, and we have about 30,000 students in our private and parochial schools. They too step up in a huge way during Give a Day week and all throughout the year as well. So speaking on behalf of our Catholic schools, please welcome Dr. Mary Beth Bowling.
Well, a Catholic school's mission in forming young people is to encourage care and compassion in others. Therefore, we call it stewardship, and it is a very integral part of our curriculum from kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade. The beauty of the Mayor's Initiative is that it encourages us to collaborate with others across the community and recognize the power that we have collectively to help others when we pool our efforts, when we work together. Whether it's our kindergartners who visit the local park to clean up and make sure that it's safe for others to use, or it's our high schoolers from their St. Joseph of Arimathea societies visiting some of our cemeteries to weed and take care of those unattended plots, that means something. Or whether it's on a huge scale where there's, boxes of Dare to Care items that are donated. Or even in one of our local schools last year, our teaching staff stepped up and said to their maintenance staff, go home, we've got your back today, and we are going to take care of our school, and we're going to honor the work that you do each day. And it happens in little ways, and sometimes in measurable ways, but boy, does it make a difference in who we are as young people and even as adults. So as a community, we want to build community stewards in the Archdiocese of Louisville for the future, and the Mayor's program supports that mission, and we're delighted to partner with you.
I want to thank the Archdiocese. So Pope Francis obviously has been a tremendous voice for human values, and he has declared this year the year of mercy for the Catholic faith all around the world. So we're happy to really accentuate the service work during Give a Day this week with you all. So if you're a Pope Francis fan, get out and help us during Give a Day week. All right? Now bringing us home is David Tandy, Councilman Tandy. We're in his district here. He is no stranger to Give a Day. He's been with us, everyone, along the way. So Councilman Tandy, please come up and share a few words with us. David Tandy.
Well, good morning, everybody. When you're coming at the end of a long list of speakers, you realize everything's already been said, so be as short as possible. And I want to just sum up my comments this way. When I think about the Give a Day movement that's taking place here in Louisville, I think what we're trying to accentuate here is the notion of I'd rather see a sermon than hear a sermon any day. Your actions are going to show where your heart truly is. And so if you care about the least of these, then don't just talk about it, be about it, and do something to help make somebody's life a little bit better. And there's tons of different activities that all of us can do. And so the main thing to learn from or to get out of this is that you don't have to be an expert painter to help paint a room. Do your part, even if it's just putting up the tape along the edges to make sure that we don't get paint on the floor. You've done your part, and you've helped us make the city a better city for everyone that's here. The second thing I want to say is that I've often said there's a difference between being a resident of a community and being a citizen of a community. A resident is somebody who they play by the rules, they take care of their family, and then they go home and live a productive life, and that's great. But I think being a citizen is one who recognizes that the world is bigger than just our insular families or just our close circle of friends, and that there's a broader world and a broader community out there that we are to engage in and be a part of. And that's what Give a Day is calling all of us to do, is to be active citizens. Now, you see up here, there's a whole host of people from all different backgrounds standing here in unison wanting to give a day. But what you see when you look at this is kind of like my grandmother's patchwork quilts that she used to make. And that is, she used to take different fabrics, pieces of fabric that were all different shapes and sizes. And at first, when you look at them, it didn't look like they all fit together. But when she started to do her magic and start making the patterns and putting it together, and then she sewed it together with a common thread, you started to have this beautiful piece of art that kept you warm on cold days and provided beauty for you whenever you wanted to look at it. That's what Give a Day does for us here in our community. All of us have different skill sets. We've all been blessed with different skills, but you can use that to help make your community better. You can say, again, I may not be able to swing a hammer, but you can help rake some leaves, or you can help pick up trash. Your talent or your gift might not be, it may be in the helping with keeping books and on the financial side. But you can give of your time to help another nonprofit organization put themselves on a track to be financially stable, to be able to serve the broader community. So whatever your talent is, use it not only just on Give a Day or Give a Day week, but all throughout the year to do just a little bit to be an active and productive citizen in our community. And when we do that, then we will be the example that all other cities around the country and around the world will want to emulate, and we've done our part to help make our world a better place. So again, we thank everybody for their participation, and we look forward to setting another world record this year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. I want to represent Congressman Yarmouth's office as well in the House, represented by Carolyn Tandy. Thank you, Carolyn, so much. Congressman's a big supporter of this. This also, Give a Day Week, is the opening week for the Kentucky Derby Festival. And one of the reasons why we placed it at that point is because we wanted to see cities around the world have a race toward compassion. Okay, and as everybody knows, we race everything during Derby Week. It's not just horses. We race rats, we race waiters, we race beds. So why not a race toward compassion? And so that's the tie-in with the Kentucky Derby Festival, and we're really proud to be a Kentucky Derby Festival event. In closing, I want to thank volunteers from the Louisville Fire Department, the Louisville Police Department. These guys are always involved, obviously, in serving our community 365 days a year, but then they do their Give a Day Week project as well. Also, the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary has stepped up in a really big way for us the last couple of years, and we appreciate their devotion to service. They're going to be organizing a cleanup in Shelby Park and working with the Louisville Nature Center, among many, many other projects as well. And I also want to thank a special group here, Wendy Sergio in We Day. We Day, let's hear it for our We Day folks over here. We Day has stepped up. Are we in our third year or fourth year? Fourth year now, and we started with about 200 students, and now we're at 3,000. You know, we're seeing focused work on service and compassion throughout the year that culminates in this tremendous celebration and showcase for our community of what our young leaders are doing for us. And this year we're going to have our first ever We Day and Give a Day Week Walk for Compassion that the whole community is invited to attend. So you will see more about that in the media, but I just want to thank you guys specifically for the wonderful work that you've done with We Day. Way to go. All right. To our media friends, while you guys are carrying this, if you could make sure on your trailer to say, everybody needs to sign up, mygiveaday.com. We're going to set another world record. Brenda Frank asked me, what should our record be? I said 770,000. She said, why 770,000? I said, that's the number of citizens we have in our city. Everybody should be able to do something good during the Give a Day Week. So we may not reach 770 right this week, Brenda, but we'll reach it sometime. So we are on an inevitable march towards 770 or 800,000 citizens, however many we'll have when we reach it. So the best thing about this is, look, folks, while we're focusing on this during the Give a Day Week, this is not a once-a-year thing. We live in a city where every day people are getting out to help each other, whether it's like my mom used to do with providing meals to senior citizens or reading books to school children. Something's happening all the time. And we call ourselves, and we're recognized as an international model city of compassion. That's because we walk the talk. But there is always more to do. And compassion is a daily activity. I say every day, learn something new, do a compassionate act. If you do that throughout your life, things are going to be good. And in closing, we might as well quote the Dalai Lama. What's he say? To be happy, be compassionate. To make others happy, be compassionate. Life's really not a lot more complicated than that. So thanks, everybody, for coming out today. Thank you.
This has been a Metro TV production, a public service of Louisville Metro Government.